Hey, I'm Eric from Curbside Cycle, and today we're going to talk about the Biomega NYC. One of the reasons why we love Biomega is that they approach the bicycle as a design object, and that's something we really believe in, and Biomega really captures that. And it should be no surprise that Biomega is from Denmark, where you have a really huge cycling culture coupled with a really big design culture, and Biomega really marries those two together, and the NYC is a perfect result of that. So one of the things that Danish design is famous for is its minimalism and uncluttered design, and the NYC really taps into that. One of the things you can see right away is that there's no stickers on the bike. And these days bikes are covered in stickers. Instead, you actually have a CNC logo, which is very subtle and nuanced. And that's etched into a flared down tube on the bike. If you're wondering what that is, it's actually built in Fender. So the NYC is looking at the naked bicycle form and asking new questions like how can we incorporate function, like staying dry, into the bicycle's frame. If you've been to Denmark, you'll know that Copenhagen's actually a pretty sprawled out city, very different from Amsterdam. And you can see this almost immediately in the geometry of the bike. So whereas the Dutch often ride these bolt upright bikes where the shoulders are squared and a position is almost like mountain pose in yoga, the Biomega adopts more of a hybrid bike geometry that we'd see here in North America. And it's unusual to find a bike that has internal gears, belt drives, using this kind of geometry, which is what makes the NYC such a cool bike. Of course, Biomega is from Copenhagen, and they are Nordic, and they know what snow is, so it's really, really important that things stay very low maintenance on the Biomega NYC. That's why the Biomega NYC uses a belt drive. Now, belt drives are incredibly cool. Most bicycles sold in North America have chains, and a chain runs for maybe 4,000 kilometers before it needs to be replaced. The belt drive runs for 60,000 kilometers before it needs to be replaced, and all this while, it requires not a drop of oil. What that also means then is that you have a clean drivetrain, which means you have clean clothing. And of course, if you've been to Copenhagen, you'll know that the bicycle lane is essentially a catwalk of bicycles and amazing outfits all meshing together into the city's beauty. Coupled with this commitment to low maintenance, which we'll see on the Gates belt drive, is also the internal gear hub. An internal gear hub means that your gears aren't external and totally exposed to weather or even getting bashed. Basically, derailleur systems, which are external, are really high on maintenance and not great if you're a year-round cyclist. Of course, if you're a year-round cyclist and you're also riding in dense downtown traffic, it's really important that you've got strong brakes. For this reason, the NYC has hydraulic disc brakes. So disc brakes are an amazing invention for city cyclists because on a regular rim brake, your braking performance is changing all the time based on weather, but not so with the disc brake. The disc brake sits really, really close to the center of the wheel's rotation, far from environmental factors like puddles, weather, snow, that kind of thing. Now, Biomega was started by Jens-Martin Skibsted. He's a really famous Danish designer. Rare is the case that you would see a famous world-class designer building a bicycle, but the NYC is that one notable exception. The pedals were designed by Danish design house Kibisi, which is famous for its architectural and industrial design. The pedals are made out of resin, and there's a good reason for that. Most pedals are made out of metal, which tend to scuff your shoes, which is great if you're a mountain biker, but not so good if you're wearing a nice pair of shoes to the office. They've got a lot of grip, and they're completely rebuildable too, which is cool because most pedals on the market are disposable. One of the coolest parts of this bike is the stem, and I think the stem is often a pretty overlooked part of a bike's design, which is exactly why the Biomega NYC jumps in there and creates something really, really high impact and beautiful. Most stems tend to flex quite a bit, which can affect hill climbing prowess. The stem is basically a CNC billet of aluminum that's been hollowed out to form a strong, stiff I-beam, and it's just a work of art. One thing we love about Biomega is that they're out there to design bicycles that are as beautiful as cars, if not more beautiful. We believe city cycling is fundamentally aspirational. It's something you can do in a suit, a dress. It's the way you get to work, it's the way you connect all the dots in your life. So why shouldn't your bicycle be as beautiful as the furniture you buy or the clothing you select? The Biomega really takes cues from urban design, streetwear, and combines it into a bicycle that's just an absolute work of art to ride around town. And it's really practical too, it's not just design. It's got the flared fender, which will keep you dry, that belt drive, it's gonna last for 60,000 kilometers, keep your clothing clean, and those powerful disc brakes, all combined on a frame that's just more thought through than, say, the bikes that you see in Holland. Thanks so much for watching this little segment on the Biomega NYC. We hope you liked it. If you want to see more content, please hit subscribe. If you'd like to learn more about the Biomega NYC, you can book an in-store sales appointment, a virtual appointment, or you can just give us a call.